Like everything else that we apply our minds to, yoga is pretty much misunderstood. Some people think yoga is the asanas. Some people think yoga is meditation. Some people think yoga is a philosophy, goes back thousands of years. You get to a certain point in your growth, you realize it's really very simple. I'm going to start with an analogy. Let's say you have a blender and it's not working well. And you take it into a repair shop. But the repair shop knows a lot about blenders and motors and coils and wrappings and wires and these transistors and everything. But somehow they missed the boat about electricity. They don't know about this thing called electricity. And so they try fixing your blender without even understanding that what this thing's all about is to channel the electricity and to cause this to happen. They will tell you, no, there's just physical form, and that's what's here. There's nothing else, and I don't know why it's not working. Or maybe it works when they plug it in, and it doesn't work when you plug it in because there's something wrong with your power coming in. It really is the electricity, the power, the energy that's doing everything. Everything below that is a way of harnessing this. It's very much like a wire. A wire is not electricity. Electricity is not a wire. A wire is a conductor that allows electricity to flow through it. So you can harness electricity and have it express itself as televisions, vacuum cleaners, blenders. That's what's going on. The same exact thing is going on inside of you. And that is what yoga is about. Yoga is about the fact that there's an energy flow. They call it chi in China. They call it Shakti in yoga. And it just so happens in the Judeo-Christian world, they call it spirit. In other words, there is something flowing in here that is not of physical form. Let's take that for a second. What does it mean it's not of physical form? I like scientists. They sit there and say, if it's not of physical form, it doesn't exist. You know, we're not into mumbo-jumbo stuff. Good. Very nice. Years and years ago, there was no such thing as an X-ray. Yes, there was. No, there wasn't. Hello? They just hadn't had instruments that were made of physical form that were capable of picking up this thing called X-rays or infrared or ultraviolet or whatever. It's like, where's the physical world stop? It stopped in a very different place before Madame Curie. And it keeps expanding out because we keep developing instruments and mathematics, but instruments are the fun part, that are more sensitive than our senses and therefore are able to expand our perception of what we call the physical world. Maybe the physical world is what your senses will pick up. Well, then it's very limited. So we have gone beyond that. We've said, well, our senses are limited, so we'll use our brilliant mind, you have a brilliant mind, to develop instruments that are more sensitive than our senses so that our senses can watch the instrument, can watch the expansion of the world. So who's to say that someday that they will not be able to pick up the energy flow? They will not be able to pick up your thoughts. They will not be able to pick up your emotions. Why not? You know thoughts exist. You don't have to prove it. A scientist said, no, there are no thoughts. I can't measure them. Therefore, they're not there. That's very funny. You're there, and you're capable of experiencing thoughts. Therefore, thoughts exist. But they're not of the physical world. But neither were ultraviolet and X-rays and infrareds. So there's nothing saying that you will not develop, in fact, I guarantee you will, develop instruments that are sensitive enough to be able to pick up this extremely sensitive energy flow pattern, which are called thought forms or emotion forms. So this gap between what we call science, which is just strictly physical understanding, if I can't see it, if I can't touch it, it doesn't exist, yet it is their thoughts that are saying that. They don't understand that. They can't measure the thoughts, but they know they're there, and yet they say the only part of the world that exists is physical. So there is perception that is beyond your senses. It is not true that unless I develop a machine that is capable of picking up something that's beyond my senses, now my senses can experience it because the machine helps me experience it, therefore it exists. That's not true. Why? Because you are in there experiencing thoughts. You're experiencing emotions, and they are not physical, and you don't have machines that can pick it up, but you do have something that picks it up. This becomes the essence of yoga, the essence of spirituality. You know there are thoughts. You come and you sit there and say, my heart hurts. Oh my God, since she left, my heart hurts. How do you know? How do you know your heart hurts? You do know, don't you? You wish you didn't, but you do know. I want to know how you know. It sounds like a stupid question. No, it's not a stupid question. It's the most important question in the entire universe, right? Your eyes don't know. I see, you can see your heart hurt with your eyes, with your ears. You have a machine you took home, and you sit down and measure. Oh, look, my heart is hurting. The machine says so. Oh, there, it's hurting. Yeah, a little layer, right? Good, bad, hurting. No, that is not how you know your heart is hurting. It has nothing to do with your physical senses, does it? You have a deeper sense, a sense of being, a sense of awareness. It is that exact same sense of being that notices what your eyes are seeing. You are conscious. You are aware. So you are able to notice what's coming in through your ears, what's coming in through your eyes, touch, taste, etc. There's one consciousness. There's 5 senses. And there's a mind. And there's a heart. And all of these things are creating vibrations that you are able to pick up. If you want to expand your eyesight, put the Hubble up there. Now you can see into outer space. If you want to see into San Francisco where the ball game's going on, get a TV. Wow, you just expanded your eyesight. What are you, Superman? No, you managed to develop technology that expanded the ability of your senses. So at this point, you notice you in there are able to pick up what's coming in through your 5 senses, and even though it's expanded by the instruments you've developed, that's fine. They're extension of your senses. And now you also notice that you notice your thoughts, and you notice your heart, you notice your emotions. Fine, there you are. All of those things are of the same essence. There is no difference between this piano and the thought of a piano, except that it's a subtler vibration. And someday they will develop physical machines that if you think of a piano, they see the piano. Do you doubt that? We've gone to the moon. You walk around with a computer in your pocket. There's more power. They say your handheld in your pocket is more powerful than all the computer power that flew to the moon. So you tell me that they're not going to develop instruments to pick up thoughts and emotions? Fine. What you have is what Einstein said. You have a universe of energy. Everything's made of energy. Well, I understand my thoughts can be made of energy because, energy has no form. My emotions, they seem rather energetic. They have no form. But you're not going to tell me the piano's made of energy. Well, Einstein did tell you that. He told you, no, that is not a piano. That's just energy and just temporary state it takes for various reasons. We can explain all the laws that cause it to do so. It can create form, but it's not form. It's not form. I try to get this through because it's very spiritual. I used to do this in my class in the 70s. I have water in my hand. I'm going to ask you a question. I have that liquid in my hand. Do I have water in my hand? Or do I have H2O molecules in my hand? Or do I have hydrogen and oxygen atoms in my hand? Or do I have electrons, neutrons, and protons in my hand? Or do I have, quarks, leptons, and bosons in my hand? Don't try to answer it. It is the level of perception that you choose to look at it. It is the same thing. In other words, water and H2O molecules, it's just a collection of letters that you put on this level of perception of H2O molecules. What level? The level that your eyes see it. So it looks like water. It may not look like water to a bird or a bee or anything else. The eyes are tuned differently. It could look like anything. So basically, it is H2O molecules. That's what it is. But it also perception water. Well, microscopes can see H2O molecules. A normal microscope can't see electrons, neutrons, and protons or atoms. Therefore, it isn't that? No, it is that, if you've got an instrument that's good enough. So you can't say which of those it is. It is exactly the same that Einstein said the word energy describes all of it, not water. It describes all the electrons, all the neutrons, all the protons, all the quarks, all the leptons, all the bosons. There's just one field of energy, just like there's just electrons, neutrons, and protons in my hand. It's not weird. There's just one underlying field of energy that at whatever level you want to look at it, quark, lepton, boson, that's quantum. Put those together, you got electrons, neutrons, and protons. Put those together, you got atoms. Put those together, you got molecules. Put those together, you got what you perceive through your senses, which is so limited it's ridiculous. Same, all the same. You can't say which is it. That's why Einstein said energy is matter, matter is energy. The difference is a temporary state, just what level you want to look at it. So basically, it's all energy. That's what's lying underneath it. That energy manifests at many different levels. Subtle, different vibration, like the electromagnetic spectrum. Expand the spectrum and I got your thoughts. Expand the spectrum, I got your emotions. That's what's going on. It's all the same energy field. Physical, emotional, mental, all the same energy field. That's what the yogis taught back in the Upanishads, thousands of years BC. It was all a field of energy. They called that field Brahma, the unmanifest Brahma. From that, They said the most complicated thing that probably no one understood, that Brahma is both manifest and unmanifest at the same time. It is not that because Brahma manifests himself that he ceased to be unmanifest. Now there's weird. No, the field of energy and matter are the same. It doesn't cease to be energy underneath because it manifested as matter. Underneath it's still unmanifest. They're really the same thing, manifest and unmanifest. It doesn't cease. So basically, underneath it all, you have an underlying energy field. So far, in just 10 minutes, all we have left in the universe is this energy field manifesting at every possible level and the consciousness experiencing it. You experience all the levels. You in there. Your eyes can't, your ears can't, but you can. You do.
You've been listening to an excerpt from Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul Lecture Series, Volume 12, Returning to the Source.